Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera dan salam We Love UPM. Bersama saya Umar Haikal sebagai MC anda pada slot petang ini. Selamat datang ke slot yang kedua untuk hari ini bagi program Virtual CE UPM Fest My Career at MOHI bagi tahun 2020 iaitu kerjasama antara Universiti Putra Malaysia dan Kementerian Pengajian Tinggi. Jutaan terima kasih saya ucapkan kepada semua penonton yang sudi meluangkan masa anda dengan menyertai program ini. Apa khabar semua? Saya harap semua berada dalam keadaan yang baik dan sehat-sehat sahaja insya-Allah. Pada petang ini, kita akan mendengar perkongsian yang amat penting daripada Mr. Gerald iaitu founder of Touching Hearts, Bridging Minds dengan tajuknya Persediaan Diri dalam Menghadapi Kerjaya Pasca COVID-19. Menarik topik kita pada petang ini. Soalan anda ingin ajukan kepada Mr. Gerald, jangan malu, jangan segan. Anda boleh ajukan soalan anda di ruangan komen live Facebook CEM UPM kita dan jangan lupa share kepada rakan-rakan tentang slot kita pada petang ini. Baiklah, tanpa melengahkan masa lagi, saya mempersilakan Mr. Gerald untuk memberi perkongsian beliau. Silakan Mr. Gerald.
Thank you, Umar. Thank you for the quick introduction. Yeah, and again, it's a thank you to UPM for having me here today. Can all you all hear me loud and clear? Should be loud and clear, right? All right.
Yes, Mr. Gerald.
Yes, again, thank you for having me here. I mean, it's always a pleasure, to be back here in UPM. I'm actually a graduate from UPM as well, so it's always good to come back to my alma mater and contribute and give back, right, for the well-being of the students and, of course, for UPM as a whole. All right. I mean, in actual fact, throughout this MCO, I've actually been conducting coaching sessions, career coaching sessions actually, right? And I've been helping students as well as working adults on career-related matters. Yeah, especially when times are bad, and again, employment is very, very tough, right? Or I would say unemployment is very high. Yeah. So again, there's always rooms for us to come in and help where possible. All right. Well, before I actually start my session, right, would be good if the students who are listening to my session today, if you can just drop in a comment in the comment box and just tell me who you are and where you're from, a name and where you're from, whether you're from Johor, from KL, from Selangor, from Serdang, or not. Just drop in into the chat box so at least I know that you're listening to me and at least I know that, right, you are here trying to learn as much as possible, right? Because one of the things when we do online is that we don't get a lot of interaction as compared to a physical session, a face-to-face session, which is where most of my sessions are. But unfortunately, due to the MCO, we are all so-called safe at home, right? So again, if you can, just drop it into the comment box below. At least tell me who you are, your name, and where you're from. If that is not an issue for you, please put it at the comment box. Thank you. All right, let's see if there's anyone that's replied. Yes, hi everyone from Rizwan, Fauzi, we have Chengo, hi, Nur Faizati, hi. All right, I believe everyone is actually from home, listening to this. That's the best thing when we are online. We can actually do this at the comfort of our home. We don't need to sit in a lecture hall or sit in a classroom to actually do this. Hi everyone, right? It's good to see all you all here. Okay, great. All right. Later, I'll be sharing some slides. Again, I will not be sharing a lot of slides. I understand, right? Because again, if I share too much things, the challenge is for you to absorb all the information. So I will be sharing some key slides, some key tips and strategies of how you can actually address the issue that I'm going to talk to you today, right? Okay. Let me share my slide. Can you see my slide?
Yes, Mr. Gerald, yes.
Can see the slide, huh? All right. Okay. Great. So today we'll be talking about a topic that is extremely important nowadays, which is Persediaan Diri dalam Menghadapi Kerjaya Pasca COVID-19. Right? So again, I will be conducting this session in two languages, which is Bahasa Malaysia and English, but predominantly it will be in English. Nevertheless, if you have any questions, if you have anything that you want to ask, anything that you do not understand, please just put down into the comment box, right? You can put down your question in the comment box at any time, right? Whether is it English or in Bahasa, anytime, any language, as long as I'm able to see it. And if I'm able to address that question on the spot, I will address it. If not, let's leave it to the end of the session before we address all these questions, right? So I hope that is good, right? Okay. So let's go into the session, right? So again is Persediaan Diri dalam Menghadapi Kerjaya Pasca COVID-19. Literally translated in English means self-preparation, right? What you need to prepare in facing the post-COVID-19 career or in facing the post-COVID-19 job market, right? Whether is it career, corporate career, or the job market, this is something that you need to be prepared. Okay? All right. So again, I have probably seen some of you say hello, hi, whatever not, even though you didn't mention where you're coming from, but I presume all of you are safe at home listening to this, which is great. All right. Let me go very, very quickly into an introduction of myself, right? So at least you know that whatever I'm sharing you today comes from my self-experience and things that I've gone through. What I'm going to share with you today, there is no right or wrong, okay? There is no right or wrong. What I'm sharing is based on my experience, all right? Based on my experience in preparing myself for my career in the past, right? And also based on my experience coaching students and working professionals in facing their career or employment post-COVID or even during COVID period at that point in time, all right? Okay, who am I? Well, my name is Gerald, you can see very clearly, Gerald Lee. I'm basically a corporate professional. I've been in the corporate world for the last 20 years, right? The last 20 years, I've won awards. I'm also having the forte of building winning teams in various industries. So what I'm going to share with you today, again, is also based on my experience in the corporate world, okay? I've held senior leadership roles in some of these companies in Malaysia. So I started my career with Unilever, then I moved on to Selangor Axiata. I've been with Ferrero Asia Limited, Munchies, Ethical Group, and of course with Red Bull Malaysia. And currently, I'm actually a pioneer member in an FMCG startup company. This company is entering Malaysia, and you should be seeing our brands real soon. At this point in time, it is still in the midst of a planning stage. That's why I say it is in the midst of a startup stage, right? Really a FMCG startup. And this is something that is, well, I would say unheard of in the FMCG world, right? If you look at the FMCG world, FMCG stands for fast-moving consumer goods, which is consumer goods industry, right? So if you look at this industry, more often than not, you already find the companies are well established. Companies like Unilever, companies like Nestle, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, right? Reckitt Benckiser, RB, Mead Johnson. All these are established companies. But what I'm doing right now is actually setting up a FMCG company which entering Malaysia for the first time. All right, so stay tuned for that. Okay. I'm also the author of Climbing the Corporate Ladder and Trying to Not Fall Down. This is actually my first book, a book that has inspired and helped many people to achieve their career dreams. Right. This is a book written based on my past corporate experience. I put down all the tips of how I climbed the corporate ladder, how I stayed in the corporate ladder, and all the tips pertaining to interview sessions, even before interviews, writing a killer resume, how do you ace interviews, and all the way towards climbing the corporate ladder. So this is a book. If you want a copy of this book, anyone want a copy of this book, right? Maybe you just put down a comment if you want a copy of this book, right? Put down a comment that, yes, I want, so that at least I know you're interested in having this book. If you're interested to have a copy of this book, just put in a comment, yes, I want, right? So that at least I know that you are interested in having the book. All right. Nur Faizati asked me how much it is. Well, the book is actually free. There's no charge for it, right? Just put in a comment if you want a copy of this book. Okay. All right. I'm also a speaker. I've spoken on various platforms, both face-to-face, live events, and of course now with COVID, I'm doing a lot of events online as well. I'm a certified coach and trainer, right? I'm also a HRDF certified trainer as well for Malaysia context. Okay, right. I'm also the founder of Touching Hearts Bridging Minds. Touching Hearts Bridging Minds is actually my learning portal. I've put a lot of learning contents in there. I'll share with you the website much later, probably at the end of the session. Just remind me if I forget to do that, right? And I'm also the mentor of GrowthX Academy Asia. GrowthX Academy Asia is actually a training and development company, right? It's based in the US, but of course they have a subsidiary in Malaysia overseeing the Asian market. I'm actually a mentor there. I actually mentor and coach business owners, independent business owners, SMEs, and to a certain extent, some corporations, multinational corporations as well, on how to grow and how to scale their businesses, right? Whether it's a business or whether it's a brand. If you want to grow brand from ground zero, I will also share tips and strategies of how we actually do that. If a brand is brand new in the company or brand new in the market, how do you grow it? You have to be a sizable brand in the industry. So that's what I do at GrowthX Academy Asia. I mentor small and medium companies, SMEs, business owners, independent business owners. Right. Okay. So in short, basically, this is about me, right? I shall not bore you about myself, because more importantly is I want to go into the subject matter. I want to teach you all how you can actually use this time to prepare yourself once COVID is over. At this point in time, COVID-19 is not really over yet, right? But it is getting better. The situation is getting better, and I hope you'll be ready by then, once it is over. All right. So these are some of the companies and some of the universities and colleges which I've trained. I've enriched a lot of people, right? So again, it's you may see there are a lot of multinational companies. There's some SMEs as well, smaller companies, of course. You can see the logo UPM is there, right? Because I've been coming to UPM, I've been training UPM students as well. Okay. All right. Let's go on. Okay, let us set expectation and ground rules. All right, let's set expectation and ground rules. Can all you just put into the group comment section, tell me what you expect to learn from today's session? Yeah, I want to set expectation because again, it's what I'll be sharing. I may not be able to address all your concerns or your questions, but let's set expectation at the very beginning so that at least I know if I'm able to cover all the sections or all the questions that you're probably going to post me later, right? Can you just put it into the comment box? What do you expect to take out from this session? At the end of the session, what do you expect to learn from this session? Yeah, can you just put it into the comment box so at least I know, yeah, that these are the things that you want to learn from today's session. All right. Nur Faizati said, what can we prepare as a fresh graduate? All right. Okay. I believe I will be able to cover that question. I will be able to address that question. How can we prepare as fresh graduate? All right. Anyone else that has a question or expectation? Because sometimes when I conduct sessions like this, right, some expectation is there's no expectation, right? Because this is a webinar, it's also a complimentary session. Sometimes participants just come on board and come with no expectation. They just come in and hope to get some nuggets out from it or get some learnings out from all these sessions. But it's always very, very important to have a question in mind. What do you expect to learn from all the sessions, right? If you look at this whole CE Fair, CE UPM Fest, right? It has been conducted since last week. And every day for the last, I think 7 days, right? There have been 2 sessions, right? Morning one session, afternoon one session, right? So it's very, very important when you attend any of those sessions, or if you attend all the sessions, it's very important to actually, before you attend, set an expectation. What do you want to learn from those sessions? Because if you don't have expectation, you will go in blindly, right? You may not be able to ask the right questions. You may not be able to absorb the right learnings, right? Because all of us, our so-called focus or our span of focus, right, is limited. We feel that we can learn a lot of things. In actual fact, we can't, right? So the things that we want to learn, that should be the thing that we should set as an expectation. So when we go to a training, if we pick up that and say, aha, great, this question that I have in my mind, something that I want to ask, has been addressed, right? So it's very, very important for you to set that expectation. Okay, how to find a suitable job based on our qualification, how to get a job before a graduate, how to get the tips and tricks to survive and prepare for the future. Susah ke untuk fresh graduate compete for place industry? My question, how to tackle panel during interview session. Alright, so this is about tackling interview sessions. Okay. Persediaan untuk memohon pekerjaan adalah dengan menyediakan resume seawal mungkin sebelum graduan, betul? Yes, okay. Actually, all these questions, well, some will be covered today. Some will be covered in my other session, because I have another session, I think this Wednesday, right? So I'll be covering that session as well, right? So in the event that I unable to cover the question in today's sessions, no worries, I will still answer those questions at the end of my session, all right? Is that fine with all you? Is that fine with all you that answers the questions at the end of the session if the questions are not covered in my session today? Okay, how to cope with stressful environment when working? I see ramai berhenti sebab kerja under pressure. Okay, I mean to answer that question, well, pressure is something that will always happen in anything that we do. Whether we are working or even you are studying in UPM, there will always be stress and there will always be pressure, right? So again, it is something that we just have to manage, right? When we reach a situation where we can't manage that pressure, that's where we find ourselves being very stressed and very pressurized, right? If we can manage it, then there is actually no pressure, correct? Right? Okay, let me see, what else? Okay, so any question, just put it in the chat box so that at least I know that you are listening. Okay, one more thing, one more ground rules. Again, because this is an online session, I can't really interact with y'all. I expect y'all to pay attention, yeah, because I'll be showing some slides. I will not be showing a lot of slides because, as I was mentioning earlier, too many slides, you will get lost. You'll find that there's too many slides, I don't know where I need to focus on. So I'll be showing you key slides, right? Key slides for you to pick up some nuggets so that you can learn something out from it. Okay, before we finally start, I've just one more question, okay? If I share with you today, right, at this session, if I share with you 100 tips, okay, 100, kalau saya mengajar atau give you that knowledge of 100 tips. Tell me how many tips can you remember and how many tips can you implement? Answer in the comment box very truthfully. If I share with you 100 tips today, how many tips can you remember and how many tips can you implement? So the first number, if you say 50 tips you can remember, 30 tips you can implement. Just put out in the comment box so that I know. Because this is very important. It's a very, very important question before I go on to my next slide. Write in the comment box, if I share with you 100 tips today, how many tips can you remember and how many tips can you implement? All right, Hedrick said, open my mind to always have an idea to solve the challenges I face in the future, especially in the field of my career. All right, open my mind. Yeah, it's always good to open your mind, okay? This is my second question. We have found job in online in COVID because this is preparing for job, right? We must find job in online. We must find job in online job in COVID session. Well, you can find job in online or you can find offline. There's many ways for you to find job online, offline, right? Many ways, okay? Okay, seems like there is no answer to my question. let me give you the answer to my own question. If I share you 100 tips today, I can safely say you will probably take back probably about, I don't know, 10% of it. Wow, 40 tips, remember? Trying my best to implement all 40 tips. Okay, not much to remember. Maybe I'll apply all the tips when the time is suitable to apply. Okay. Again, there's no right or wrong, just a question, because I just want to understand how you think and how you behave. Because if I'm going to be shared 100 tips, I can guarantee myself I won't be able to remember anything more than 10%. Okay? Because that's how the human mind works. Once there's too many things that you need to focus on, you can't remember everything. So if you remember 10% of it, how many percent do you think from the 10% you'll be able to implement? Probably another 10%. Right? So end of the day, you'll probably be able to implement probably 1 or 2. Okay? Yes, Butter Hazy said 10 tips, remember 5 tips, implement. All right, maybe to that extent, correct. Right? You'll probably be able to remember very few tips, but more importantly, you'll be able to even implement even fewer tips. Okay? So it's good. All right. Now we move on. I will share with you a few tips, right? A few tips. But before I go to a few tips, let me share with you some insights, some statistics. Probably you have already seen the statistics, but doesn't matter. If you've not seen this, let me refresh those statistics for you. Okay, this is statistics in the newspaper reported November 2020, 12th of November 2020. Malaysia unemployment rate edges up 1.3%. See, labor markets face more challenges amid the pandemic. Okay, let me highlight certain key points of the news. First thing is 4.6% unemployment rate. Of course, this is as of September 2020. If we compare against the same period last year, of course, it has increased by 1.3%. If you look at the last few months, we see unemployment rate have been hovering pretty steady at 4.6%. I believe the highest was somewhere in April when it exceeded 5%. Right? The second thing I want to point out is unemployment person. 700 over 1,000 people in Malaysia has been unemployed. Right? 700,000 people have been unemployed. So again, you see, the challenge of getting employment is real, right? Because by the time all the fresh graduates from the universities start going into the job market, you are going to compete with everyone else within the 700. So not really within 700. You're going to add your numbers into the 700, which is exactly the numbers that's currently unemployed at this point in time, right? But you look at it, the number of employed person, of course, is about 15.19 million. It is down. So you can see employed personnel have gone down over the months and even over the last 1 year. And finally, let me see whether I can move this. All right. Okay. And finally, you see, September 2020, employment continued to grow at a slower pace of 0.3%. All right, in August, it was at 0.5%. What does that mean actually? It means that job opportunity will still be there, but it's not readily available at all times, right? It will still grow. That's what I say, employment continue to grow, right? But at a slower pace, which means you will still find job. You still find job. The only problem is you need to probably look harder and probably smarter in identifying that vacant job. Okay? So if you look at this, the challenge is there are a lot of unemployed people. All right? So if you already find a job right now at the university, someone asked me a question whether should I get a job right now while I'm still studying before my graduate. Yes, if you can do that, good. Do that. If you can't, then you need to find a job once you graduate. Again, the challenge is you are going to be competing with everyone else, assuming the numbers don't change. This 737,000 people in Malaysia, unemployed people in Malaysia, doesn't change, you will be adding into that statistic. Okay? Let me share you this one. Again, you can also get this online. You can go into the Edge and pull up this infographic, but this just to show you the impact of COVID-19 on jobs, right? I know it's a bit small, but again, if you need a copy of this, I'm more than happy to share this with you all later, all right? You can see these are all the jobs that are affected, right? Industrial, services, agriculture. But again, it's without looking at this infographic, you already know which are the industries that are heavily impacted or affected by the pandemic. Jobs in the tourism industry, right? Everything is closed. Hotel, theme parks, tourism industry as a whole is closed, right? So again, there is no job. Not that there's no job, the job is there. Unfortunately, there's no one that is going to drive the industry at this point in time, right? Same thing with some other things. Airlines example, right? If you're in the airline industry, everything has reached a standstill, right? Of course, there are flights internal Malaysia, but you can't be traveling out of Malaysia. So that is also affected. Look at the F&B. Some of F&Bs are still closed. Of course, now the shops are beginning to open because of the relaxation in terms of MCO. But again, it's all in all, the scenario has not been any better, right? It has not been any better than the previous year or even before COVID. So again, will the industry improve? It will eventually, definitely. But will it go back to the original state pre-COVID? At this point in time, I can safely say, well, it will eventually, right? Maybe take another 2 or 3 more years down the road. No one really knows. But eventually it will. But at this point in time, it won't, right? It won't. Okay. All right. Umar has mentioned, after COVID situation, adakah company will only accept workers with pengalaman so that they tak perlu to train them? Well, I think it depends. It depends on the companies. So it's a yes or no question. Yes and no question. Sorry, yes and no question. It depends on company. If the company is in a growth state, right? In a growth state means they are looking positively into the future. They believe their industry will grow and they will need people. They are more than happy to hire fresh grads, hire people without experience and train them up, right? On the other hand, companies that are probably a bit tight and probably they want to grow a lot faster, they want to grow faster, right? Rather than train, then they probably hire people with experience. So it very much depends on the company they're applying for. So there is no right or wrong answer here or right or no answer here per se, right? So it depends on the company that you're hiring. So I would suggest if you want to know more, you probably need to do a little bit more research in the company that you're applying for if you want to apply for the job. Right? If there's a vacancy, just check out the company. I mean, nowadays, everything is online. You just go to Google, you can search about the company, or if you know people in the company or a contact number, just turn a call, right? Yeah, so Umar, I hope, I mean, briefly, I managed to answer that question, right? Okay, let me show you another statistic. All right, explaining Malaysia's high youth employment, all right? All of y'all are in the high youth employment or unemployment, right? So you're all youth, right? Whether you're about to graduate from your university or you're still studying and probably going to graduate in a year or two's time, all right? So again, if you look at the chart, I don't know whether you can see my mouse. If you look at this chart here, can you see my mouse, right? If you look at graduate unemployment has increased sharply since 2019. You can see the numbers have gone up, the red bar and also the blue bar, right? So it's gone up tremendously, right? Right? But more importantly, I want you to look at this part of the article, right? Skills that Malaysian firms may also say are lacking in the labor force. This is what most Malaysian companies, all right, are saying about the labor force, about the people that are applying for jobs. These are some of the skills that are lacking, right? If you look at the 82.5%, I think is management, right? Let me see, is it, yes, management and leadership, all right? Then of course, 78.5% is on technical, 73.5%, let me see, is on language, and another close to 70% here, 69.9 is on interpersonal and also communication skills, right? So if you look at this, okay, of course, there are many skills that are lacking, But I think this pretty much sums up the 4 key skills that is really lacking, which I believe as undergraduate or even graduates, this should be the skill that you should be looking into. You should be looking to enrich yourself, right? Looking at how you can enrich yourself. Okay? All right. I hope you can see, right? Okay, great. All right. So before I move to the next slide, I will be teaching you how to build certain things. Okay? But I will not be teaching you 100 things to build. I'll be showing you a few things to build. And the first thing you need to build is, again, based on the circle that I just circled, these are the skills that's lacking. So the first thing that you need to build in preparing for a job market, right, is to build your capability or skill sets, all right, or build competency per se. All right. I do not know whether during this COVID period, remember we had the lockdown somewhere in March, right, all the way until now. What have you been doing while you are at home? Okay. For me, just to share an example, to tell a story, right? Throughout COVID, again, I mean, of course, I'm still working, but again, I was working from home, right? And every night, I would take the opportunity to learn a new skill set, right? Because during COVID period, the best part, I mean, you look at it, the best part about COVID is suddenly everything had gone online, right? And you realize there are so many programs, whether it's certification programs, so many courses, so many trainings, seminars, webinars, everything is happening online, right? So I don't know about you all, but one thing I can say is during that period of time, if you ever go into Google and search for online course, whether it's free or paid, you'll find that there's plenty of options. Correct or not? There's plenty of options. So during this period of time, before we go out of COVID, right, before you go into a post-COVID situation, this is the best time for you to build your capability or skill sets on a particular topic that you feel will be able to give you a competitive advantage or give you an edge, right? Or give you a value adding proposition before you go out to a job market. Okay, so first thing you need to do is build your skill sets. If you remember the slide I showed earlier, it's about, let's say, interpersonal skills or communication skills is something that is lacking in the labor force right now. Yes, because whenever my company has a vacancy and we advertise, we find that we get tons of resumes, right? Then we shortlist people for interviews, and then during the interview process, we find out, of course, some can speak very well, some can't really speak very well, some they fumble, some stammers and whatever not, right? And sometimes the word that they use may not be the right words that should be used in an interview, and sometimes they are not able to answer questions according to the requirement or to the questions by the interviewer, right? So if interpersonal skill or communication skill is lacking, and that is something that you can build on, and this is something that you feel you should enrich yourself in, go online. There are so many so-called free courses in English, improve communication skills or mastering your communication, right? In the past, I actually conduct mastering your communication where I teach students and also working professionals how to communicate, how to better their presentation skills, right? So this is something that I've done in the past, okay? So again, you need to build a skill set right now. Don't wait until COVID is over, because when COVID is over, you need to start running already. Before COVID, while we're still here, right? Learn a skill set, okay? So can I ask you all, put into the comment box, what capability or what skill set do you want to build? Do you want to enrich yourself in? Yeah, can I request that you put into the comment box, type in what skill set or what capability do you want to build right now? Digital marketing, all right. Very good. So Noraini, since you mentioned digital marketing, have you started attending courses on digital marketing, or this is just a plan that you are going to attend a digital marketing course? Communication skills, all right, great. Okay, all right. I believe some of you probably still thinking what skill set you want to build, right? Which is pretty normal, right? Because at times, if we are not asked about it, more often than not, we will probably won't think about it, correct? Right? I mean, take for example, I mean, may not be a right example. Take for example, if you're not hungry, you won't think of eating, correct? So it's the same thing. If you don't feel there's a need for it, you won't do anything about it. So again is, let me reassure and let me so-called stress the point that this is the best time to build your capability and skill sets, right? There's plenty of courses online, whether it's free or paid, but there's plenty of it. The word here is plenty, right? I've registered with e-Rezeki, but not attending class yet. Okay. Personality. All right. You want to improve your personality. Okay. I believe Muhammad Rizwan is saying that personality is all about personal grooming, I presume. How you dress well, how you look good, feel good, and whatever not. I hope so. Right. Interpersonal skills. Okay. Great. Yeah. Because interpersonal skill is very much related to communications. Yeah. Where you need to converse and communicate with people, because that is the best way for you to build, right, relationship, right, build a network and so on and so forth. Okay, all right. So again, is recap. The first thing that you need to build right now, okay, is to build your own capability, build your own skill sets, right? Whether it's a skill sets can come in both sides. Either it is a technical skill that you need to build, or it can be a soft skill. Okay, a technical skill example, right? Like I don't know, automation engineering or whatever, or digital marketing, or whatever. That is technical skill, right? E-commerce technical skills, right? Soft skill is something to do with leadership, to do with management, to do with time management, to do with communication or presentation skills, and so on and so forth. Okay, so again, is choose the skill that you want to build. Now is the best time. Okay, because every night you have time, and I don't know whether in university right now has your lectures started commencing. If not, you are probably at home. So instead of, right, to me, it's wasting time watching Netflix or not. Maybe just go Google, just search online courses, whether it's a certification course or non-certification course, doesn't really matter. More important, it is a course which you can already pick up and learn, right? Because the next few weeks is going to be, like now, it's the best time for you to learn. All right, let's move on. The next thing I want you to build is to build net worth. All right, but I'm not going to ask you to build money, right? If you look at it, build net worth is probably to do with money, right? But it's not to do with money, okay? Here, I would like to stress is, I want you to build networking. I want you to build your networking, right? So networking, your pool of people that is in your community, right? Because net worth or network equals net worth. You understand that? Right? Net work equals net worth. Because if you have a lot of people in your network, that is where your net worth will go up. Whether if you are finding a job or if you are in business, right? Because you need people to work with, and all of us, we are working with people. Okay? So first thing you need to build is build network. But I do not show the word network here because I want to stress to you, your network is your net worth. Okay? Do you understand, right? Okay, so how do you build network? How do you build network then? I believe all of you will have network, right? Of people. whether is it friends or acquaintances. If you don't have a huge network right now, you need to go out and start building. Okay, and one way of building network is by joining, or is by participating, or is by involving yourself into seminars, workshops, right? Training sessions, right? Again, there's many, right? There's many online. In the past, there was a lot of face-to-face physical sessions as well. So throughout these sessions, you will definitely have the chance to meet people, interact with people, right? And share knowledge and share insights, right? And this is where you build network, right? This is the best chance. Okay, that's one. Number two, if you do not have any opportunity to attend any of these seminars or training programs, right? I believe when you are in your university, you definitely would have the opportunity to attend or join clubs or association, or even run projects. Example, right? Take for example, this project, CE UPM Fest is a project. By being in the project, you are already building a network of all the community members, right? Semua ahli jawatan kuasa dalam project CE Fest, right? It's a network, correct? Correct or not? Not all you will know each other, but by joining this project, you will already know each other. Okay? Rizwan say, build networks such as joint entrepreneurship, right? All right, joint entrepreneurship is one way, of course. It's one way to build your network, definitely. Okay, but this net worth here is not about money. Ini bukan pasal duit. It's nothing to do with money, example, right? What I'm trying to say is, your network is actually equals to your net worth. This is how much money you have. Only that the money is not tangible, right? But it's something that you need to build. Okay, example, do business online? Yes, of course you can do business online, right? But do business online is probably a skill that you need to pick up, right? Build network. Net worth is not about money all the time, right? It's about building a network. Okay? What about cable? Is it considered as net worth? I would presume your cable is what I think you are writing, right? Yes. Those are also your network. As long as the people in your community or in your network is able to help you, right? It's able to help you achieve something, whether help you achieve businesses, right? Or whether help you to get a job, right? It is your network, okay? As long there is a result or outcome that you can get out from that network, okay? So Umar, so I hope I answered that question. Rizwan, okay? All right. So again, is build a network, okay? There are many ways of doing that. Then the third way of how you can build a network is, I believe all of you here would have a LinkedIn account. Semua ada LinkedIn account kan? Right? You have a LinkedIn account. Go and have a LinkedIn account. If you do not have one now, create one. LinkedIn is, of course, one of the platforms where you can build a network of people. All right? Of course, you can, invite people or let people invite you into the network. But more importantly is, make sure you are putting contents out there, you're sharing content, you're sharing tips or whatever not, so that people will feel connected with you. Okay? So another way for you to build network is through LinkedIn. It's the best professional platform that we have for working professionals or even for business owners. Use a LinkedIn account, right? Of course, there's Facebook, there is Instagram, there's WeChat, and all the rest of all the other social media, right? But if you want to really build a professional network, use the LinkedIn account. Okay, Hasli say ada sir. Yes, good, right? Jangan ada saja. Ramai orang di sini ada account tapi they never use it. Right? Always utilize whatever that you have. Right? Ask yourself, if you have a social media account, what are you going to do with it? Right? Are you going to monetize it? Are you going to do something about it? Right? Are you going to build something out from that social media? Or you are going to have a social media account and that's it. Right? A lot of people have Facebook account right now. And what they do every day? Scroll. Scroll. They just scroll. Okay, look at news. People like me, like, poke here, like, yeah. Tak guna, right? If you have a Facebook account right now, this is the best time for you to monetize with Facebook. Some of you wrote earlier, I want to learn digital marketing. Why you learn digital marketing? Because digital marketing is one of the top in-demand skill right now. Because everything is happening online, right? Everything is happening online. There is no more physical stuff. Everything is online because we can't go out from our home. So the best thing you need to learn now is digital marketing. And digital marketing is what? You use Facebook or use Instagram, but it's a social media platform where you can use it to monetize yourself, all right? Okay, Rizwan say, hey, right? I think he has a Facebook account and the only thing he probably do is to scroll kan. Ya, Rizwan? Jangan scroll saja no Facebook. Guna Facebook buat business. Like tadi you cakap, online business, okay? So use Facebook as an opportunity for you to build a business online. All right? Okay. So I've shared the first build, right? First build is building capability, building skill sets, building your competencies. Okay? The second thing you need to build is to build your network. Because if you have a wider pool of network, then it's easier for you to get a job or easier for you to get opportunity to get businesses. All right? Okay. Wait, hold on. Rizwan, I say after this program, I created my LinkedIn, IG official, FB official. Okay. So sebelum ni masih tak ada account lagi lah. Alright. Okay. No worries. Ramai orang pun tak ada account Facebook. Right? And it's not right or wrong to have Facebook account right now. The question you need to ask is, what are you doing with those accounts? If you're having an account that is going to be dormant, you just create for the sake of creating it, don't create. Create it, but with an outcome, with a result of what you want or what you intend to do with that account. Okay? All right. The next thing I want to teach you is build online presence, right? Just a while ago, I was talking about everything that's online, kan? Everything now is online. So now is your best chance to build an online presence right now. In the past, sebelum ada Facebook, internet, everything, if you want to know everything about a person, the only way you can do that is you have to meet that person, correct? Kan? In the past, if you want to know somebody, I have to go and see you and ask you questions, then I only know everything about you. Or I can probably ask somebody who probably knows about you and who will tell me something about you. But now, everything is online, right? If you want to find a job right now, once you apply for that job, your company can always search for you online. They don't need to wait and meet you to know about you. They just Google your name. Example, if Muhammad Rizwan Zakaria is online, I will key in Muhammad Rizwan Zakaria, UPM, your information will come out. Okay. Hold on. Rizwan just asked me, may I ask about membina nilai bersih? Masalahnya. Apa kata membina nilai bersih dengan person? Okay. All right. The nilai bersih, you mean the net worth? Okay. Don't look at the net worth as monetary. I was talking about network. Because there is a saying that network, your network equals your net worth. Right? That is the saying. Your network equals your net worth. Who you have in your network, though they will be the one that's going to be providing you a job opportunity or business opportunity. That's why you need to build a network right now, right? So that is the meaning of your net worth, okay? So Rizwan, I hope I answered that question. All right, back to building online presence. As I was saying, you don't need a company the interviewer in the company to meet you to know everything about you. Now everything is online, correct? Example, in the past, right? Let's take for example, in the past, kalau you nak pergi dating, right? You want to date a girl, blind date, right? You won't know about her or him until you meet the person during the date at a cafe or whatever not. But now, you can always search online, right? If you want to date a girl right now or boy right now or man right now, whatever not, you just key in online and the profile of the person will be all over internet. You can get to see the pictures, whether the person has a IG account or FB account or whatever account, everything will be there. Correct or not? Right? So in today's world, in the online and digital world right now, everything is online. So again, if you're not built your online presence, this is your best time to build your online presence. Okay? And for the purpose, okay? And for the purpose of today's session, I will only focus on one platform. I'll talk about Facebook. Okay, I'll talk about Facebook, right? Because I presume most of you have Facebook, maybe not. The last session where I was conducting, I asked people and most of the participants say, I don't have a Facebook, I'm all into IG. Okay, then I know that, all right, you are probably Gen Y, Gen Z, where's more about IG, your WeChat, your TikToks and whatever not, right? I'm a Gen X, so yeah, maybe a bit old school, right? But then again, is Facebook is of course is a platform where everybody is so familiar with. All right. So building online presence is not about just building online presence. It is about building your personal brand online. Personal brand. This is the keyword. All right. Personal branding is a topic that I'm very, very passionate to talk about. Right. I'm really passionate about this. I actually conduct personal branding masterclasses and workshops, and I teach people how to brand themselves, right? How to unleash the power of their personal brand to achieve success in their career, achieve success in their business, or even in their life, right? So again, personal branding is something that is so important nowadays, and you'll find that a lot of people, despite knowing the importance of personal branding, do not actually invest their time or even monetary into building their brand. All right, let me ask you a question. You all know about McDonald's, kan? Right? McDonald's, Nike, Starbucks, right? These are strong brands. Why they're so strong? It's because the companies behind these brands has been investing a lot in building their brand. They have built a proposition, a value-adding proposition behind these brands, so that when consumers like you and me, if you ever drink Starbucks, eat McDonald's, or wear Nike shoes, whenever there's a new product that's been launched, you will go and say, wow, yes, I want to associate myself with this brand. When I wear a Nike shoe, I walk out, right? Kalau saya pakai kasut Nike, saya keluar shopping, gaya. Right? So this is the brand that you want to associate yourself with. So same thing with building your own personal brand, right? Hold on, Rizal asked a question. Build online presence, sama seperti create IG, LinkedIn, FB. Yes. Of course, again, go back to the same question I asked. What do you want those accounts to do for you? Kalau you buka or create the account untuk scroll saja, nak like banyak, then there is no personal branding or no online presence. But if you use it to your advantage, yes, it is definitely building online presence. That's what I'm talking about is on personal branding. Use Facebook to build your own personal brand. Example, right? So again, can I safely say all of you will probably have a personal Facebook page, right? Ask yourself this question, right? Seriously, ask yourself this question. What do you post on your Facebook page? Tulis dalam komen. What do you post? Apa you post kat you punya Facebook page? You post benda-benda yang funny stuff, benda-benda yang tak munasabah, yang kelakar ke, or just a joke. Sometimes you just post really stuff that completely has no meaning, right? Put down your comment, right? I want to ask, if you do online, isn't the chance of getting scammed is high? No, you're not scamming anybody, and nobody's scamming you per se in your Facebook page, right? You are not getting scammed because you are not scamming anybody and you are not allowing yourself to be scammed, right? Building online presence is all about building your own personal brand, but using an online platform, right? Mohammed say, post about my brand, right? Yes, if you have a brand, then you post. If you don't have a brand, what are you posting? All right. Personal branding, okay, online. What I'm sharing with you is using Facebook as an example. Okay, hold on. Nurul say, if somebody don't like to have so many accounts to socialize, only have IG, others just seek knowledge, is a person like this have lesser chance to succeed? All right. No. First thing first, there are many social media platforms out there, right? Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, WeChat, and so on and so forth, right? If you only have IG, Instagram, use IG to build your online presence. So now I'm going to ask you that question, Nurul. Assuming you only have IG, kan? Ya, saya assume you hanya ada IG. Apa you post kat you punya IG account? Muhammad Rizwan saya selalu saya post puisi. Okay, berkongsi pasal program yang saya join aktiviti. Alright, kalau you post puisi, okay? Example, let's use puisi, poetry as the example. When you post poetry or puisi kat you punya Facebook account, what presence, what brand are you trying to tell people? Remember, everything must have a result, must have an outcome, right? Mesti ada sebab you buat sesuatu. Apa sebab you buat sesuatu? Kalau you post puisi, apa outcome, apa result that you want to get from posting that puisi? Okay? That's the question you ask. Okay, Nur Faizati say mostly post about my business. Right, great. Okay, I don't know what business you're in, but you post about business. Okay, good. I shall take you and that answer as the example I want to share here. Okay, let's use Facebook again. All right, how you build a brand again is you ask yourself what you post in your Facebook account, right? If your Facebook account, let's say, if you want to be a digital marketer, right? Or you want to be a digital marketing specialist, digital marketing consultant, whatever the name you use, but everything to do with digital marketing, what you should be posting in your Facebook account or in any social media account must be to do with digital marketing. Correct or not? So articles about digital marketing, how digital marketing can help your business, how digital marketing can help you in your career, why digital marketing is important. So these are some of the articles you can post, right? Again, if you have done real digital marketing work, that means you have run a project doing digital marketing consulting work for a customer. Great, use that. Put inside your Facebook account, post it. Either in Facebook or Insta, choose one account, right? What I'm trying to say is choose one account. Just post it, right? That tells people all about you as a digital marketer or as you as a digital marketing consultant, right? And also showcase your projects. And from that project, what have you achieved? With this project, with this project, I've managed to increase the revenue of this XYZ company from 0 to 100 million, example, right? Post there. Tell the whole world, okay? Okay, Nurul say not posting anything just to socialize with old friends. Can, all right? Facebook, Insta, all this, you can use it to socialize with your friends, definitely, right? But again, if you want to build your own personal brand, an online presence, you must stand for something. Okay, you must stand for something. Okay, if you go into my Facebook page later, which I'll share later, right? You go into it, you see that everything about that page is all about me conducting seminars, sharing videos, sharing tips, right? Because I have a lot of videos on personal branding I recorded, so I put it there, right? I teach you how can you do personal branding at home, how you can do it by writing a book, or how you can do online. So again, it's many things you can post online, right? What I have mentality, not posting anything because of privacy, scared exposed too much. All right. Sure. Some people are afraid to share a lot because they're afraid that there's no privacy, right? But again, if you're not sharing anything that is private and confidential, there's nothing to be afraid of, right? I'm not asking you to share your bank details, right? Or your salary details, or who your father or mother is. If let's say your parents is a high profile personality, right? You don't want to share that, right? I'm not asking you to do that. What I'm trying to say is, what do you want your account to stand for? How do you want to brand yourself in those accounts, right? Let's see, there's another question I just missed. Where is it? Hold on, let me see. Post collaboration sponsorship have been offered by somebody at Instagram. Yes, again, is that anything to do with you, the sponsorship? I'm selling homemade kimchi. No Faizati is selling homemade kimchi. Great. Let me use that as an example again. You're selling homemade kimchi. Okay, that's a business. Best selling kimchi in Malaysia. Example, that is your tagline, right? Best selling kimchi in Malaysia. So you need to tell people why your kimchi is the best, right? What you can do is you probably can put in some contents, whether contents in the sense that it could be an article, it could be videos. Number one, why kimchi is good for your health. Example, right? Put it there. Put a video, put a article, tell people about kimchi, why they should be eating kimchi, right? Because we are not in Korea, right? So again, if you're in Korea, probably you eat kimchi every day. But in Malaysia, you may not be eating kimchi every day because it's not a staple food. Staple food is things that you eat every day, rice, right? Noodles, right? All of us eat nasi lemak maybe every day, but we don't eat kimchi every day, kan? Right? So again, so post contents about why kimchi is important. Okay, that relates to your homemade kimchi, right? It relates to kimchi. Okay, then you post contents why you must buy my homemade kimchi. Kenapa pilih saya punya kimchi versus brand XYZ punya kimchi? Then you share why, all the pros, right? All the strengths, all the benefits of buying my kimchi, right? Then you can show contents, example again, videos or articles of how you can use kimchi in your daily food. Okay, kimchi campur nasi lemak. Example, this is all examples. Saya just throw example. Kimchi campur nasi lemak is a brand new usage. That's how you build usage of people eating kimchi. Because normally, how you eat kimchi? You makan dengan, let's say, rice. That's the normal way you eat. But now I'm telling you, you can also eat kimchi with nasi lemak. You can also eat kimchi with mee goreng, mee rebus. Example, right? So use that, post contents about how you can eat kimchi. Because this will help you to increase your sales, right? Because more people will eat kimchi. All right. Then after that, tell people, share articles again, share contents again, maybe add videos, whatever not. How you can buy my kimchi. Example, you can buy my kimchi through online, or you can drop by my shop, or you can give me a call or WhatsApp, whatever not, then you can share that, right? So again, this is how you should be building your brand. If end of the day, you want to be the best-selling kimchi personnel in Malaysia, this is how you should be building a brand. So go back to building your personal brand and building your online presence. If you don't get it right now, let me give you a very, very clear example. All right. If you want to be let's take for example, you want to be let's not use kimchi. Let's say you want to be a digital marketing, which I shared earlier, right? The example, right? Let's say you'll be an engineer, a mechanical engineer, right? And you want your personal brand, whenever people look for you online, they know you are aspiring, entrepreneur, aspiring, energetic, whatever the terms is, but a very good mechanical engineer, right? So your online presence, your Facebook page or your social media platform should be everything about telling people how good you are as a mechanical engineer. Don't put in example, masuk you punya Facebook account, kenapa semua gambar, example, if you like, pets, right? Kucing or goldfish. Why all this? Or if how come got pictures of vegetables? But it has nothing to do with mechanical engineering, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. Whatever you post online nowadays must be something that is related to your brand. So that's why it's very important, build your brand online. Okay? Let's see if any questions. All right. Muhammad Rizwan, brand saya Persediaan menunjuk saya mahir dalam penulisan menembus buku. Yeah, correct. Right. So again, great. Thanks, Rizwan, for giving me another good example. If you want to be a photographer, right? If you want to be a photographer, all your contents in your social media account must be things that are related to photography. Why not? Show all the best photos that you have taken. Show the best photo that has been taken by top-notch photographers in the world. Show how you take a nice photo using an aperture or using a shutter speed of whatever, right? F10, whatever not. Just change it. Show people how to use lenses. right? Whether it's 35mm or 250mm or whatever not. So show people, okay? This is how you build your brand as a photographer. Don't go in, don't wait for people to go into your social media account thinking they're going to find you as a professional photographer, but they go in, apa ni? Kenapa jual ikan pula? Right, example. Right, so again is, you need to make sure your content got to be relevant, right, to the brand you want to associate yourself with. Okay? Yeah, Rizwan? Boleh faham ah? Okay. Let's see. Nurul say, I want to ask a question. How to cope with situation when our minds always think judgment of people when we want to post? Okay. Thinking of judgment of people. Okay. Frankly, if you ask my personal opinion, it doesn't really matter how people judge you, right? Because people are going to judge you anyway. Correct or not? If you do good things, people are going to judge you somewhere as well. If you do bad things, people are going to judge you anyway, right? People are going to judge you regardless of what you do. Correct or not? Right? So to me is, don't bother what people are going to judge you, right? First thing first, this is a very important tip in personal branding, right? Which I always teach people. In personal branding, in building your own personal brand, it doesn't really matter what people think of you and think of your brand. Okay? Use the example of Nike. Not every one of us wears a Nike shoe, correct? Not every one of us wears a Nike shoe. Why? Because we don't feel ourselves associated with that brand. I wear Adidas, example. I don't wear Nike. I've never had a pair of Nike shoes, but I have a pair of Adidas shoes because I like Adidas shoes due to whatever the reason is, right? You get me? So again, same thing. Your personal brand is something that you build to show people who you are, and people who are able to relate to you, those are going to be your long-term loyal customers. Those that don't relate to your brand, it's fine. They won't like your brand anyway. Same thing with your Starbucks, your McDonald's, and so on and so forth, right? Maybe I don't eat McDonald's, I eat Burger King, or I eat KFC, but I don't eat McDonald's because McDonald's as a brand don't resonate. Yeah, have no connection with me. You understand, right? So again, is same thing with personal branding. Yeah, do not be afraid of how people is going to judge you. People are going to judge you anyway. Whether you are good or bad, they're going to judge you anyway. So when you build your brand, right, build it the way you want yourself to be associated with. Okay? Let me share you something which was never part of my slides, but let me share you something which is very important whenever I talk about personal branding. Right? Write it down if you can. Right? I want to give you these two words, these two keywords you must remember when you build your personal brand. The first keyword, the number one first keyword is, okay, number one word, relevance. Right? Whatever you are posting on your social media account, yeah, whatever you are posting on social media account, the content, whether it's online or offline, but let's use online for now. Whatever it is, it must be relevant. Okay? If you are a photographer or aspiring photographer, seorang yang mau menjadi photographer, pakar fotografi kan, right? You make sure all your contents must be relevant to the topic that you want to talk about, to the brand that you want to associate yourself with, right? So everything you talk about must have something to do with photography. Okay, that's the meaning, relevance. Okay? The second keyword you need to have is target audience. Goes back to the earlier question about judgment, right? If the person is not your target audience, they will never relate to your content. They will never relate to your brand. A person who is not interested in photography won't want to look at photography topics or photography materials, correct? But a person who is interested about photography, they will find you relevant. Correct or not? Yeah? So same thing here. If you want to sell kimchi, you'll find that some people would like to look at your kimchi posts, your kimchi content, and many others won't want to look at it. Why? Because they are not relevant. If tomorrow you show me a kimchi post, I may like it because I eat kimchi every day. So I will go and say, wow, I found a new way of eating kimchi. But someone who doesn't relate to kimchi as food won't look at your post. They look at it, Apa ni? Kimchi in Malaysia. I go Korea, eat kimchi lah. I won't eat kimchi in Malaysia because they don't relate. So they won't want to have anything to do with your contents, right? So again, it's very important, these two keywords, when you want to build your content and when you want to build your online presence with your content, two things you need to take into consideration. Number one, content must be relevant. Number two, it must be for your target audience. Okay? If it's not for your target audience, they won't bother about it. All right. Okay? So far, so good. Okay, just put a comment. So far, so good. Yes. All right. Good. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Remember, I was telling you all earlier, right? If I share with you 100 things, you will never remember, right? And I think the max is remember 10 things and probably 8 things you're going to implement. So I'm going to show you only these 3 things to build. But more importantly, what I'm going to show you in the next slide is even more important. Even though I've shared with you only 3 things today, right? 3 things of building, right? I teach you only 3 things to build. Number 1, building capability and mindset, right? Number 2 is what? Building what? Building your network, because your network is your net worth. And number 3 is about building your presence online, which is about building your own personal brand using an online platform. 3 things only, right? Simple, right? Now I want to ask you, with this information, are you going to do anything about it? You know why people always fail, right? And why people succeed. Those who succeed are those who take information and implement those information. That's why this term here, implementation over information, is so important. This is what one of my mentor taught me, right? It's about implementation over information. It's not about getting information. A lot of people come for seminars, webinars, courses, training, and what they do, they get a lot of information, very happy. Whoa, I wrote down a lot of things. Maybe today you write down a lot of things, maybe you don't write down anything, doesn't matter. If you write down a lot of things, your whole paper is full of notes, yeah, full of information. The next question I'm going to ask you is, what are you going to do about those information? I taught you only 3 things today, right? Ask yourself, are you going to implement all 3 things today? If you can't, are you going to implement at least one of the things that I shared today? That's very important. It's about implementation over information. Don't come for sessions. Don't come for a CE UPM fest for the next 1 week, for the whole 2 weeks, right? 1st to 15, and get a lot of information. No point. Okay? What is more important is what are you going to do with the information? All right? So again is, remember this phrase, implementation over information. Basically means that please take action, right? Please do something about it. Even though I only shared 3 tips today, please make sure you at least do one thing, at least one. Okay? By right, I should be doing all 3 because it's so few things. I'm not even sharing 100, right? Right? But I'm sharing 3 things. So please do that. Okay? All right. So again, I've come to the end, but I want to share with you something which I used to be doing, and I'm also doing it again, right? I want to just share very quickly about my career mastermind workshop, reaching the top winning formula, right? This is something that I conduct, right, over the weekend. Okay, it's actually a half-day intensive online workshop where I talk about personal branding. I talk about creating first and lasting impressions. I share about how you can pick up the principles of corporate climb. If you really want to be in corporate career, you need to learn this. You need to learn the corporate climb principles. You need to outmaneuver corporate politics. You all know in corporate world, there's always office politics, regardless whatever your boss will tell you. And of course, I'll teach you all the shortcuts and hacks to a successful career. Again, it's based on my past 20 years of experience. These are the dates, 17th or 24th, either one, 10 a.m. All right. If you are interested to attend, just RSVP to my email. I'm leegerald@gmail.com. Right. Just RSVP to my email. Say that I'm interested. Hopefully, I will have your name in that email. Okay. And remember, I was telling you, if you want a copy of my book, if you sign up now, I will give you a copy of my book, which Climbing Corporate Ladder and Trying to Not Fall Down. Okay, so this is how the cover of my book looks like. All right. Okay, we have actually come to the end. If you have questions, please continue to put it inside the chat box. All right, Rizwan asks, implementation of information means mendedahkan banyak maklumat. Betul tak? No is not what it means. Implementation over information means do something with the information that you have got. Okay? Semua orang mahu menimba ilmu. Right? Menimba ilmu. Tapi kalau ilmu tu ditimba, tak buat apa-apa, that ilmu tak guna. Faham tak? Right? You don't want to learn something. You want to learn and do something about it. Yeah? So that's the meaning. Everybody wants to learn, but nobody wants to do. Okay? If you look at all the successful people in the world, if you learn everything that they do, but you don't do the things that they do, you won't be successful. You understand? Right? Okay, so if you look, leegerald.com is my website. I'm Lee Gerald is my Facebook page. Please go my Facebook page and probably just like and follow if you want to. I'm leegerald@gmail.com is my email, which you can contact me. Okay, if any more questions, please put that in a group chat before I pass you back to Umar. Yes. Any questions, just put in the group
Mr.
chat.
Gerald,
Yes.
saya ada satu soalan, Mr. Gerald.
Yeah.
Mr. Gerald ada share about the unemployment rate yang I can say quite merisaukan for now.
Betul.
But
Yep.
Some of us still have pemikiran yang macam I can say like picky, macam memilih pekerjaan itu sendiri. Jadi mungkin Mr. Gerald boleh share pendapat atau pandangan Mr. Gerald sendiri berkaitan dengan orang yang memilih pekerjaan, memandangkan sekarang situasi COVID sendiri pun pekerjaan limited. So mungkin Mr. Gerald boleh share.
Okay, actually, jobs are not limited, right? They are probably limited in certain industries. There are jobs around, and I completely agree you, Umar. I completely agree you. Saya setuju dengan apa you baru cakap tadi about picky, about choosy, right? You see, there are jobs, all right. Unfortunately, why there are a high rate of employment, or there are some youth who are still employed, is again is because they just want to choose the job that they think they want to do, right? Because when you are in a situation where jobs are few, far and few, scarce, right? You don't want to go in and pick and nitpick and say, oh, okay, this one, ayo, kena kerja pukul 8 sampai 10, saya tak mahu. Ayo, this one kena pakai tie lah, pakai coat, saya pun tak mahu. Right? This one kasih saya salary 1,200, macam minimum wage, saya pun tak mahu. So again is, you have to take a job, right? If you're going to graduate from university tomorrow, your university is just your passport. A passport into the employment world, into a job career, into the corporate world. Use your first job as a stepping stone. Join in, batu loncatan, stepping stone. Take a first job, learn from it, gain experience, and then slowly move on. Right? Same thing with me. I started my career as a salesperson at a very, very low level, right? Because I love to be in sales, right? So I decided to join a company and say, okay, let's do sales, right? And then over the years, I stayed there and I grew with the company. And of course, I got promoted year after year. And eventually, I moved on to many companies. And of course, now I'm a pioneer member of a commercial unit, right? So again is, what I'd like to advise you is don't be picky, right? In times when times are good, of course, you can choose to be picky. But when times are bad, this is actually not the best time for you to be picky. If there is a job, if you apply for a job and the company calls you for interview, you go for it, you ace the interview, you get the job, they give you offer letter, take it. Take the job, learn from it. No job is perfect, right? There is no perfect job in this world. The only perfect job I can say is a job that you create yourself, maybe, of your own company. But then again, even in your own company, the job may be even stressful than you're working for somebody. I don't know. Yeah, I'm throwing an assumption, right? So it's very, very important. If you get a job, just go for it and learn. Very, very important is learn from a job, from the job. Gather experience, yeah? Learn as much from your peers, maybe go for trainings, ask the company to send you for trainings or whatever, and then slowly move yourself within the company. And if the company can't give you an opportunity to go up the corporate ladder, then you start to look out. Yeah. Umar, I hope I managed to answer that question.
Ya. So, yang saya boleh simpulkan, just try je kan? Betul tak, Mr. Gerald?
Yeah, try is one, right? It's not really try. You need to know what you want. You need to really, really know what you want. Right. I will talk about this more in my next session. I have a Wednesday session, right, on job hunting strategy on Wednesday, right? Uma, actually, this topic I will touch on it on Wednesday, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's very, very important that you need to know what you want. It's not about trying, not about jumping and say, oh, okay lah, saya lompat ke dalam kolam, then baru realize, saya tak tahu berenang. Right? So it's not about doing that, right? You need to make sure you at least know a bit of techniques to swim or stay afloat. Then you jump in. Okay.
Alright, memandangkan kita slot kita, jadi sedikit yang ada build network, and the third one build online presence, and please make sure it is relevant and we know our target audience. And the lastly is implementation over information. So ucapkan kepada Mr. Gerald atas perkongsian beliau sebentar tadi yang sangat-sangat berguna dan boleh diaplikasikan lebih-lebih lagi kepada mereka yang mungkin ingin membina semula kerjaya mereka dan juga kepada pelajar-pelajar yang bakal menempuh alam pekerjaan mereka di era pasca COVID-19. Terima kasih sekali lagi saya ucapkan kepada Mr. Gerald. Baiklah, bagi para penonton semua, jika anda masih lagi belum mendaftar, jangan risau, anda masih lagi belum terlambat untuk mendaftar di link yang terdapat di page FB CEM UPM untuk mendapatkan e-certificate serta merit bagi pelajar UPM. Dan jangan lupa temu janji kita yang seterusnya, iaitu pada slot cabaran kebolehpasaran graduan dalam norma baru. Slot kita pada hari ini yang akan disampaikan oleh Encik Abdul Aziz Jamiran, iaitu Ketua Sumber Manusia Rental Utilities pada jam 10 pagi di platform yang sama iaitu live Facebook CEM UPM. Sama-sama tu jangan lupa untuk like dan share FB CEM UPM kita untuk dapatkan info-info penting berkaitan program ini. Hashtag stay safe, stay at home, kita jaga kita. Jumpa lagi di slot yang seterusnya. Assalamualaikum. Bye-bye.